WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. AdPro Sports. AdPro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday Night Lights on Western New York Athletics. Here from Wilson High School at Walter J. Hutchison Field, it's the Wilson Lakemen getting ready to kick off against the Titans of Franklinville and Ellicottville High Schools. A good Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, evening now at this point here on Lake Ontario. We're getting ready for a Class D matchup between two teams that haven't seen each other before. A first-time meeting between these two squads as the Lakemen move from Class C to Class D this season. The Franklinville-Ellicottville Titans on the other side, a powerhouse in Class D. They make the 2-hour drive up to Wilson today for the matchup with the Lakemen. I'm here with Coach Mike Fatta. Mike, what do you like about today's matchup? What have you noticed, and what can we look forward to out of today's game?
Well, I think coming into the game early on, you're looking at a team that has a sizable advantage, not only in the man-to-man size of their players, but even looking at the depth of their team and the overall size of what they're working at, what they're going against. Wilson is they know they're undersized down the line, and they know they need to execute to be successful today. And I think I get the feeling that Ellicottville, Franklinville has the same mindset coming into the game.
Last week, these two teams had two different starts to the 2022 season. Franklinville-Ellicottville at home played at Ellicottville High School. They took on a Monsignor Martin program in the St. Mary's Lancers and ended up walloping that Lancer program, winning by a score of 38-13, where their running game dominated. On the other side, the Wilson Lakemen had their first matchup with the Wolfpack of Clymer Sherman, Panama, another powerhouse in Class D, and that is exactly what the Wolfpack proved they were last week, defeating this Lakeman team by a final score of 40-14. Though that game was 27-14 going into the fourth quarter, don't let the final score tell the whole story. As we take a look at our head coaches for today's matchup, in his 7th season with the program, 4th as head coach, Jason Marsh leads the way for Franklinville-Ellicottville. And for Wilson, Bill Atlas in his 16th season is the head coach for the Lakemen, looking to start out his first year in Class D with a victory in their home opener here today. We'll take a break and rejoin you after the anthems here at Hutchinson Field in Wilson, New York. We'll be back right after this on Western New York Athletics.
I love being home.
There's no perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Being home.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
You insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
Being home.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Welcome, folks, to Friday Night Lights in Wilson, New York. At Walter J. Hutchison Field, the Wilson Lakemen welcome in the Titans of Franklinville and Ellicottville, 2 teams off of a Week 1 start on 2 different ends of the spectrum. Wilson entering today 0-1 in conference play as well in Class D. The Titans of Franklinville, Ellicottville, last season 7-3, and they made it to the sectional championship at Highmark Stadium and fell to a dominant Randolph Cardinals team in that game 26-0. They started out their 22 season with a victory at home against the Lancers of St. Mary's last week. We take a look at our players to watch for today's game for the Franklinville-Ellicottville Titans. It's their fullback, Hunter Smith, who last week had 7 carries for 49 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had the lone 2 receptions for the Titans on a small passing day that was all on the ground, 27 points coming in the third quarter, all of those from either their running back Smith or their quarterback John Nuzzo, who we will talk a little more about later. On the other side for the Wilson Lakemen, their running back as well, Carter Pitlick, plays fullback, tight end, tackle, linebacker. He's all over the field as number 23 in orange today. Last week, he had an 80-yard pick six that he intercepted the Wolfpack quarterback and took him to the house. Wasn't his assigned play at corner, but he slipped out to corner after reading the play, a beautiful play from Carter Pitlick. He is our player to watch offensively and defensively today for the Lakemen of Wilson. Coach Mike Fata joining me, Jack Cruiser, Frank Wolf producing here today for Western New York Athletics. Glad you could join us for Friday Night Football. Not your typical Friday night crew, but we're glad we could be with you here today. As they go through the coin toss, Coach, I'll ask you, when you win the coin toss here at the high school level, you had plenty of years coaching in your own experience. Do you usually a defer guy in your own right?
I was, but I think if you have a kicker, that changes things too, and that changes your strategy. If you ever have that guy that can kick it through the end zone, I think that even makes it more likely to kick off the beginning of the game. But I did like the ball in the second half.
Well, let's talk about that. Perfect segue, Mike, because Franklinville Ellicottville loses their kicker this week at practice. Not only a kicker is Brad John, a senior wide receiver, converted from the fullback position this offseason to wide receiver. He goes down with an injury at practice this week. Number 5 will be sidelined today. He was also the field goal and kickoff specialist for the Titans. We'll see how that changes things here in tonight's contest. Replacing his spot, we'll see a good hefty dose out of Owen Chuddy, who's a fiery, tough-to-block D lineman in his own right. But Chuddy will get the start at receiver today offensively for the Titans. More on that when their offense takes the field. Currently, both teams getting their final instructions from their head coach here. Fata, at this point, are you relaying anything important here or just gentle reminders to your players?
I think you're reinforcing what you did all week long. You're just making sure those guys understand, they're focused, and their minds are in the right place.
Your officials for today's contest, Ken Eddings, the head referee, will be making the calls to us in the booth with the white cap on. The umpire, Art Smith, linesman Johnny Parks, line judge Edward Bell, and the back judge Joe Podorowski. They'll be handling the rules side of things today, and we'll see how the fans fare with them here today at Wilson. Though a good crowd here at Wilson today, bleachers end to end, fans scattered about and still pouring in through the main entrances here at Walter J. Hutchison Field. Glad to have you with us here for Friday Night Lights, folks. Should be a good one between two teams who don't know too much about each other. The first meeting between these two schools, these two football programs rather, in their programs' histories. It'll be Noah Schenk, the cornerback, who will kick off here today for the Franklinville Ellicottville Titans. That'll send out the Wilson offense, but not before this opening kick. We'll see how Noah Schenk did in his limited practice time this week to start things off from his own 40-yard line. 7:04 opening kickoff is underway here at Wilson, and it's fielded cleanly inside the Lakeman's own end. It's number 7, Evan Wolf, who returns the kickoff to around the 40-yard line and down in bounds.
Pretty good return for the Lakemen. I think like any other game in high school football, we're going to look at the trenches early, the way that line's moving, and that'll set the tone for the rest of the day.
1st and 10 for the Lakemen at their own 40-yard line. A good return for Evan Wolf, and it sends out their junior quarterback, new this season, Connor Ernest, who's under center for the opening snap. One in the backfield, it's Jack Mahar. He gets the handoff on the left side. Mahar tiptoes the sideline, stays in bounds, and is finally tackled by Tyler Gibbous around the 50-yard line.
The Lakemen with a little outside zone play to the short side of the field, to their tight end wing there. Chuddy on the other side did a good job setting the corner, but they managed to get around him and cover him up, and good gain to start the game.
A first down is the ruling, just barely getting past the chains, though enough to move them 10 yards. 1st and 10 now, right at midfield at the 50-yard line for the Lakemen in their home orange uniforms. First time they can wear them in the 2022 season. White helmets, white bottoms, a clean look for the Lakemen at home here today, opening their home schedule. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff goes to Mahar. Up the middle, he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Hayden Tritley, the senior DN, got an arm on that one and brought down Mahar for a minimal gain.
Got big Hamza Merrick pulling around there and a little fold block up the middle, and the Lakemen probe in the middle, seeing what they can get there, and not as much as the outside play. They knew coming in that they needed to be quicker, they needed to be smarter, and they needed to be faster on those edges, and so far that's where they found their success.
Just 2 seniors on the offensive line for the Lakemen. It's their right tackle, Brandon Martin, and that left guard, Justin Hoyt. A freshman is the center in Vil Wortketter. And a flag before the snap. Is there anything that the Titan defense coach can attack when you've got a freshman starting at center?
Well, I would think that they'd want to cover him up, put somebody over him, and make sure that he's not too jittery in there. That some of the tactics you'll see is somebody maybe sending pressure over the top of him, or maybe walking a linebacker up in his face and making him thinking about it a little bit, especially when he's in the shotgun.
We haven't seen a shotgun formation just yet. We'll look to see one now. Second down, 13 to go. Just about 2 minutes into the opening quarter of play. If you're joining us late, we welcome you to Walter J. Hutchinson Field. In the shotgun, the throw from Ernest over the middle is picked off. Right at the 50-yard line. It's grabbed out of the air by a Titan linebacker. And it's Ben Brohl who makes the play to turn the ball over. Hey.
Brohl got up there, tipped it up to himself, and made a great play over the middle.
Connor. His first play from shotgun right over the middle into the hands of Ben Brohl. A turnover right at midfield will give the Titans possession. Territory, albeit 2 yards into offensive territory. At the 48-yard line, it's 1st and 10. John Nuzzo, the quarterback in shotgun, gives the handoff to Christian Swalzy, busts up the left side of the line, pushing forward. They'll get a couple yards on first down. Christian Swalzy, the senior, gets the first touch of the game for the Titans.
Although he didn't finish the play, Brandon Martin shot in there and ruined the timing of that play. He disrupted in the backfield immediately, and that resulted in a very little gain.
Second down, just 1 yard gained on first. After the turnover, we'll look to see what head coach Jason Marsh dials up here. Under center is the senior quarterback, John Nuzzo. Follows a long line of successful quarterbacks at Franklinville, Ellicottville. Nuzzo keeps it. Now he hands it off, but that is snuffed out quite well by the Lakeman D-line. Carter Pitlick was there, along with Ben Wortketter.
I think that whole front four was in on that one, Jack. They were there immediately, and they made it clear it's not going to be easy up the middle today.
On the flip side, a senior-heavy offensive line for the Titans. Tritley, Brohl, Gibbous, and Curtis from left guard to right tackle, all seniors. The lone junior, the left tackle, Hayden Callahan, who stands at a towering 6'4" on that offensive line. Nuzzo from shotgun with trips on the right. And a jump before the snap. Coda Curtis lowered that right leg a bit too soon. That'll back up the Titans 5 on third down.
Our middle linebacker, Worker, walking up, making them a little jittery up front, and it's going to make it a much longer attempt on third down.
Third and long. 14 to go. From their own side of the field for the first time today. The Titans send trips to the right again with one in the backfield in Swalzy. Now on the left hip of John Nuzzo. Nuzzo takes the snap. Rolls to his left as he's chased and wrapped up. Carter Pitlick, our player to watch, is watching everybody give him high fives now. A huge stop on third down will bring up 4th and long.
Wilson bringing in an all-out pressure. You have zero coverage, all manned up across the back end there, and they got there immediately. Good start for Wilson defensively.
Carter Pitlick last week, of course, having a big game defensively with that 80-yard pick six. He's already making his presence felt here against the Titans of Franklinville, Ellicottville, who now set up to punt on a 4th and 22 inside their own 40. Nuzzo to boot it away, and what a punt it is. Deep to receive, here is Jack Mahar. Cuts up the middle, finds a gap down at the 40-yard line. Hayden Tritley makes the tackle on special teams, and the Wilson offense will get another chance to put up the first points of today's game. An interception ended that first drive for the Lakemen.
I don't think you can understate how important that first stop was for Wilson. They like you said, Jack, we came in, they didn't really know each other, these two teams, and that has to give them some confidence watching that ball go backwards for 3 straight downs.
Well, it's right where they were to start their first drive of offense, 1st and 10 at their own 40. They were able to pick up 1 first down on the previous drive before the interception changed possession. A handoff goes to the running back, Jack Mahar, who rumbles his way past the 50, down inside Titan territory at the 45, a first down.
Thing on that left side, and certainly he does. It's his second big gain. That defensive line, and here we are, 1st and 10 in their territory for the first time.
Connor Ernest goes under center this time with a receiver to each side and a running back in the backfield in Jack Mahar. Handoff Mahar on the right side. Plenty of space to cut upfield, and he does, and gets about 6 yards on the play.
Okay, once again, Wilson getting to the outside. I think what they see is those defensive ends playing an inside shade in that tight end. They're giving him the edge immediately, and Franklin Ellicottville might want to widen those defensive ends if that's where the success is found on the other side of the ball.
A flag has been thrown. 6:35 to go in the opening quarter, just about halfway through the first 12 here in Western New York at Wilson High School. Just south of Lake Ontario. You can feel the breeze driving in. If you couldn't make it out for a beautiful night and a beautiful sunset to be here in northern Western New York, we're glad you could tune in and see it on your screens right here on Western New York Athletics. Well, they'll bring it all the way back for 1st down and 20. Wilson's own 45-yard line. Pitch goes back to Wolf out of the backfield. A flag has been thrown as Owen Chuddy makes the play defensively for a minimal gain. Another call against Wilson. That'll back him up even more. Evan Wolf, a similar running back to Mahar, shifty and speedy, says their head coach Bill Atlas. They've got one power back that'll see time carrying the rock, and that is number 23, Carter Pitlick.
Penalties here just driving them back. They're about a lifetime away from those sticks, but it's still 1st down, Jack.
A lot of time to go here. Now, Coach, are you looking to go deep here, gain everything all in one play, get back within 10 yards, or work your way up using your 3 plays?
I think I'm thinking I don't have a 1st and 40 play in my book.
Well, good thing it's 1st and 31. Here's the handoff to Evan Wolf up the middle. Breaks a couple of tackles, spins away from another, pushes the pile forward, and will pick up around 5 yards on 1st down.
But in all seriousness, I think you might be thinking a draw, like the coach just ran there, draw a screen. You're going to want to, in a way, get a chunk, but in the end, it's going to be third and long, and they might end up chucking it up and hoping on a prayer.
We'll see how Bill Atlas sends out his 2nd and long unit. 25 to go here. From their own 40-yard line, in shotgun is Ernest. Incomplete.
Ernest had his man there. He was open. He had a little room to run, too, if they would have completed that. But here are very 3rd and long.
John Mercurio looking to get his first reception of the season there. Third and long, Coach. 3rd and 26. We've yet to see Ernest air it out too much, especially after a pick on that first drive. And he's under center. In motion goes Drew Dable. Rolling right. Ernest sets the feet, throws deep. It is incomplete. He had Dable along the right numbers. Just a bit short was the throw. It'll bring up 4th and 26.
Yeah, the Lakemen are going to be punting here, but that was completed. They would have had a pretty manageable 4th and long in the Titan territory, but it didn't happen. So here we are. The punt team's out, and we're going to have the first punt for Wilson of the game.
5.5 to go in this opening quarter of play. Still no score. We've had an interception for the Titans of Franklinville, Ellicottville. And this will be the second punt of the game. Connor Ernest to do it himself. Another great punt from the quarterback. Low hang time, though, as it's scooped up by Bo Bilecki. He tiptoes along the near sideline, stays in bounds, and gets right around that 50-yard line.
Return there.
You saw Justin Hoyt along the got beat. He got his arms on Bilecki to force him inside. A good play on special teams by the senior left guard. We've seen both teams get the ball right around the same area here at the 49-yard line of Franklinville, Ellicottville. The Titans will take over offensively.
It's been a midfield stalemate to this point. Franklinville, Ellicottville looking to maybe for a big play here to flip the field.
John Nuzzo. Hand off to Bilecki. On the jet sweep, pushes the line forward, continuing to move the line forward. Finally, the pile goes down inside the 45.
Tough run by Bilecki. That's probably their best gain on the ground thus far tonight.
When these two teams describe their identity, the Titans like to describe themselves as hardworking and powerful, whereas the Wilson teams said they're shifty, they're speedy, and they want to beat that power with their finesse and their skill on the other side. Yet on that play, a finesse play by the Titans gains them 6, make it 8 yards on first down. 2nd and 2. Handoff to the running back, Swalsey.
Well, if I was Wilson describing ourselves, I would add Scrappy to that because they've been hanging in there. They're up against a much bigger opponent, a deeper opponent, and that might be a bigger factor as the game goes on. But at this point, they've been playing tough in the trenches, and they've been answering the call.
While the sidelines are quite slim for Wilson, they do get a chance to practice with their JV squad every day on the field, of course, except JV game days. On the other side, the Franklinville-Ellicottville Titans, they like to practice with their JVs as well. Their JVs, however, they haven't lost a game since 2019. A lot of talent moving up through that system. Under center is Nuzzo. Drops back with 7 feet to the 50. Rolls now to the left. Nuzzo's got space to the sideline. He's wrapped up top, and taken down at the 35.
You know, Coach Atlas before the game, Jack, told us his number one concern was Nuzzo taking off out after the pass, and he seemed to think a lot of it was designed, even though there are full patterns going out into the defensive backfield. So that might have been the case there. He didn't wait very long. Nuzzo took off.
And he picked up 5 yards on first down. First, make it 2nd and 5 with 3.5 remaining in the first quarter of play. Still no score from Wilson High School. The Lakemen backed up as far as they've been so far today at their own 35. Under center, Nuzzo takes it again himself. Another 5-yard gain.
Their inside linebackers, a 6-man pressure, and Nuzzo was lucky to kind of skirt around there. He pulled the ball out of the fullback's belly and ran it up there for the first by Nuzzo.
The left end, Brandon Martin, got the tackle on the play as Nuzzo beat him to that side, but Martin recovered well, wrapped him up from behind, and gets a stop before any more damage could be done. Under 3 minutes to go now. 1st and 10 inside the 30, right at the 30. The Titans driving. They started the drive inside their own territory, just barely at their own 48. And a timeout on the field will be called by the Titans of Franklinville, Ellicottville. We'll take a timeout as well and join you on the other side of this break with potentially our first red zone entrance of today's game. The Titans are driving. We'll be back right after this.
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective pediatric care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
He's just extending that.
Welcome back to Western New York Athletics. Friday night lights here in Wilson. 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. The Titans are driving. A drive that started at their own 48 now has them at the 30 of Wilson. 1st and 10. Nuzzo in shotgun. 2 receivers to the right. Nuzzo hands it off to Swalze. Pushes the line forward. Swalze's got a hole. Bumps his own blocker down and finally goes down at the 20.
The Titans pulling around their big guard, Tyler Gibbous. The way for Swalze for solid gain. One of the better gains of the night for him.
Ethan Lackner, the junior linebacker, makes the play. He was dragged for about 5 yards by the big tailback, but eventually Lackner able to wrap up the tackle. We approach the 2-minute mark inside the 20-yard line now. At the 19, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap taken, rolling right is the designed run for Nuzzo. Cuts upfield, Nuzzo to the end zone. Touchdown! Franklinville, Ellicottville. 10 minutes into play in the first quarter.
You can see what Nuzzo can do with his legs, and that was exactly what Coach Atlas and is as prepared as he was trying to get all week. That was the first touchdown of the game, was exactly what he was worried about.
John Nuzzo. A week ago today, he had 15 carries for 184 yards and a touchdown. He starts out today with the first score of the game. Now, without their usual field goal kicker, the Titans will go for 2. At the 2-yard line, they've got Nuzzo with the fullback Hunter Smith to his left and Swalze behind them. Now, Smith makes me look like a fool and slides to the right side. A back to each side, Nuzzo in shotgun. Takes the snap, keeps it himself. Rolling right, tosses over the middle. The 2-point conversion is good. Bo Balecki makes the grab. It's 8-0 Titans.
The 2-point conversion, pretty big usually, especially against a team that kicks. That gives them an advantage moving forward. But once again, Nuzzo showing poise, just like the touchdown run where he cut back all the way against the grain. Once again, he hung in there in the face of a little pressure and delivered a 2-pointer.
1:54 to go in the first quarter of play. Our first score to the visitors. A 2-hour drive for the Titans of Franklinville and Ellicottville. Slowed them down for the first 10 minutes, but once they got driving, they didn't stop. 8-0 is the score for the Titans as Wilson looks to bounce back after an interception ended their first drive and a punt their second. Though, Coach, talk about those penalties that forced that punt in the second drive.
Well, Wilson was driving. They found some success on both sides of the line on the outside, and they had a big penalty. To be honest, I'm not sure if it was a personal foul, but it was a 15-yarder, and that started them moving backwards, and before they knew it, they were in an insurmountable position. So look to them to get to the outside again, or at least try to, and start there and work outside in, because they were finding some success there.
The Wilson Lakemen won the Class C Chuck Funky Bowl last season. They've had success as a program in Class C. Their beds numbers moved them down to Class D this year. Whether they like it or not, now they have to travel just as much as every other Class D school does to get up to Wilson. Wolf looking for some space up the middle. A flag flies in the backfield. Beyond the 40-yard line goes Wolf.
I think Wolf dancing around there a little bit kind of put his blockers in positions to hold those blocks a little too long.
A lot of fans will say stop running side to side, just shoot upfield, right? Is that something from a coaching perspective that you're okay with, that side to side running if they find space?
I think it all depends on if it works or not, right? Like any other coach would say.
If it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, your job's on the line.
If it works, you're doing just fine, kid.
11 Wolf's okay with that return beyond the 40. We'll see what the penalty call was, though the Lakemen seem to be moving forward. And they'll march this off. The call against the Titans of Franklinville, Ellicottville. Beautiful field position for the Lakemen inside offensive territory right at the 42.
I think we had a helmet-to-helmet hit, perhaps? That's a big one.
Perhaps a play that would have been clean 20 years ago goes for 15 yards the other way today.
It would have been celebrated 20 years ago.
Hard-nosed football. 1:45 to go in the opening quarter. An 8-0 lead for the Titans of Franklinville, Ellicottville. And we've got a whistle stopping the pre-play snap. And now they'll start the clock back up again. Under center is the quarterback, Ernest. Handoff Mahar on the left side. On the sideline, he's bumped, stays in bounds, drives over a man, and gets taken down at the 35.
You know, despite the efforts of their defensive end, number 32, Owen Shuddy, who's lining up inside, but he's aware of what's going on. He's shooting out there trying to set an edge. But despite those efforts, they're still getting yards on the outside there, and Mahar's finding success. I think they'd be wise to stick to that.
It was Jacob Dahlke on the tackle for Franklinville, Ellicottville, number 21 getting time at linebacker. Brad John, of course, starting at linebacker last week, goes down with an injury this week. We'll see the changes that come from the defense here. Balke makes his first tackle. A handoff again for Mahar, cuts up the middle, pushes the line forward past the 30 for a first down.
A little counter play based off the previous play. Mahar puts his head down, a hard-nosed run to move those chains.
Under a minute to go in quarter number one. Wilson, the farthest they've been in offensive territory. Two receivers to the right, two in the backfield. Ernest under center, gives the handoff to Wolf. Met at the line of scrimmage by Hayden Tritley and a host of Titans who wrap him up and bring him down. Also in on the tackle, Ben Brohl.
Not sure if the Titans saw something in that formation, but they were definitely active before the snap. There was a new one from Wilson with the Twins formation there. That's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter.
The clock's at zeros. The score, Franklinville, Ellicottville 8, Wilson 0. As the teams have a chat about the first 12 and plan the next 12. We'll do just the same here on Western New York Athletics. Don't go anywhere. Quarter two and the Wilson Lakemen driving right after this.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
You're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for any...
Welcome back to the second quarter. The Wilson Lakemen driving. They started inside their own territory. They now find themselves with a 2nd and 8 inside the 30. Don't start so quick. We have a whistle from head referee Ken Eddings. On a timeout on the field. What could we be talking about here on the field as we started the second quarter? Perhaps the Wilson Lakemen didn't like how the offense lined up. As you see Bill Atlas not too happy in the huddle.
Well, they lined up in the same formation at the end of the first quarter, and so I'm not sure what he saw.
2 timeouts remain for each squad as we enter the second quarter of play. And a package change for the Lakemen. As you see Drew Dable, number 4, sprint onto the field with Casey Sidoti. We've yet to see number 17 out wide, the junior. Has plenty of speed. We look to see him perhaps take the top off the defense with their junior quarterback, Connor Ernest, along with Connor's older brother, John, also a wide receiver, wears number 80. He's back in the huddle around the 40-yard line. Once again, folks, we thank you for joining us here on Western New York Athletics Friday Night Lights. One other game live right here on Western New York Athletics tonight. Another one on tape delay at 10 p.m. More on that in a moment. 2nd and 8 inside the 30. Keeper for Ernest. Rolls to his right and throws. He's got him. Drew Dable inside the 10. The timeout works for perfection for the Lakemen.
The action of that backfield got, you know what, it got Connor Ernest to get some time to settle his feet, dial in, and deliver that ball. It's the first time he felt comfortable delivering a pass, and it sets him up for
They had plenty of time to think about that throw. From the quarter break to the timeout called by his head coach, it sets up the first and goal of the game for the Lakemen. Down 8-0, looking to respond. Handoff to Wolf. Inside the 5, inside the end zone. Touch. Lakemen respond with Evan Wolf.
the same tight end wing formation they're running right at. Defense with a soft edge there and plows his way in. It'll be interesting. The 2-point conversion from Franklinville, Ellicottville. It looks like they are going for 2.
Into this second quarter of play. Wilson responds on their drive after suffering the game's first score. Lining up to go for 2, with Ernest in the backfield with Mahar to his right. In motion is the touchdown scorer, Dable. Looking at Dable, Ernest throws over the middle for the 2-point conversion. Ernest to Ernest. Sings at 8.
Wilson answers the call with a drive of their own. It's got to make them feel good. They're going to hang with this unfamiliar opponent.
Like you said, Coach, no film for either team. Wilson got film on Franklinville, Ellicottville earlier this week that they had to break down last minute. Franklinville, Ellicottville was going off film of Wilson from last year against Akron. They had no film on their guys against their guys, so both teams figuring things out. When you don't have film on your opponent, Coach, how does that affect your prep, if you would know anything about that?
Well, I think really what it might do is it might be the early in the season an opportunity to really force you to work on yourself. Look at yourself and improve on yourself, and that might not be the worst thing for you.
18-yard Nuzzo touchdown run responded by a 4-yard Wolf touchdown run. 25 seconds into the second quarter of play. It's 8 apiece. And the big man will line up to kick it away for Wilson. The freshman center, Bill Worketter. The Lakemen, fresh off their boats at the 40, to the sound of the horn, will kick it away.
It all fits here. A fitting war cry.
An onside kick attempt is handled neatly by Owen Chuddy. Well, it went 10 yards, but that's about the only positive thing about the attempt from the Lakemen on that one.
Chuddy showed a lot of poise there, let it come to him. It's really easy to panic those guys up front sometimes.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Titans right at the 50. A 3-and-out on their first drive after a 3rd and long play resulted in a sack in their own zone. They start this drive with a quarterback run. Nuzzo's got space to his right. John Nuzzo down the sideline, bumped out inside the red zone.
Once again, Coach Atlas's biggest nightmare tonight, Nuzzo with using his feet, making it look easy. Wilson switched up. They went to a 5-man front, and they had an edge player. I don't know. He might have got covered up by the tight end, but nonetheless, Nuzzo with a big gain.
Well, I take it back. He's out just before the red zone at the 23-yard line. However, the Titans looking to answer. After the Lakemen tied things up, we've had touchdowns on the previous 2 drives. Nuzzo under center with 2 behind him. 2 receivers to the left. Nuzzo hands it off. Chuddy goes down around the line of scrimmage. Evan Wolf was in on the tackle.
I feel like it's a very important set of downs here for Wilson. They just answered. They went all the way down. They can't make it too easy here for the Titans.
One receiver out to the left. It's Noah Schenk. Nuzzo pumps right, goes right, still on his feet. John Nuzzo turns the corner, touchdown! The second rushing John Nuzzo extends the lead.
Another designed run. You could just tell Nuzzo is a confident runner. And Wilson's got to find a solution for him if they have one.
Less than a minute has gone by since the Wilson score. The Titans respond immediately. After a good return on the kick, that was an onside attempt down at the 50-yard line. They've marched the 50 in 59 seconds, just under a yard per second gone by in the play clock. Going for 2 are the Titans. Nuzzo in shotgun with Swalsey to his left. Nuzzo looks to pass. Pressure coming. Throw caught. Hunter Smith makes the catch in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. 16-8 is the score.
Nuzzo just literally outrunning. This guy out there, he's the most confident runner, and again, Wilson's going to have to find a solution for him, or it's going to make it too easy. They'll get in that end zone.
Perhaps watching the Bills' dominant performance last night, seeing Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does best, has inspired John Nuzzo to put on a performance of his own here today.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Nuzzo did say he watches a lot of the Bills growing up. Of course, this younger generation not getting to experience too many bad quarterbacks before Josh Allen, so still in their high school days are the players on the field here today.
A lot more Bills fans in the high schools these days.
Oh, for sure.
Than over the past few years. It's amazing.
And growing up, I was in high school, Ravens fans, Titans fans in Cheektowaga Central. It made no sense.
None.
Now everyone rocking the red, white, and blue, all on the wagon.
It's amazing.
Football is alive and well here in Western New York, and we've seen that help the numbers for both schools. The teams both prompted the Bills' success as a reason for players wanting to play football from the modified level up. When you've got a successful team at the National Football League level, it makes those younger kids want to be like Josh Allen, believe it or not. So we look to see better and more numbers from these lower-level schools all the way up to the double and soon-to-be triple A's here in Western New York. Kickoff fielded just before the 20-yard line by Wolf. Had a big return the first time. He has another one here past the 35. Wolf taken down at the 37-yard line.
Time to run for both his returns, and seems like he's a block or two away from breaking one.
Jacob Dahlke, a team's tackle for number 21 and the junior. The Lakemen, after 3 straight drives, resulted in scores for each team. 18-6 is the score now. The Wilson Lakemen look to respond. 2 minutes has yet to go by here in quarter number 2, rather. And we've had 2 scores in that time. Handoff to Mahar. Stuffed at the line. The bodies push forward for maybe a yard. Brandon Martin pushing the line forward.
I'll tell you what, the Titans had a lot of bodies in the middle there. They had a 5-man front, all those gaps filled in the middle, and not going to have a lot of success against that front up the middle.
Is that something you think your quarterback might be able to recognize next time they see it? Check out of it, perhaps?
You would hope if the quarterback is experienced enough to read that and has the ability to change the play, absolutely.
Connor Ernest sat behind a 2-year starter for the last 2 years. The junior gets his first start last week in a loss to CSP. As that run goes for about 5 or 6 for Wolf. Ernest this summer worked with Will South head coach Joe Licata. His number one focus was making reads against the defense, and you saw it on the previous drive for the Wilson Lakemen as he went through his reads and found his man Dable open for a 30-yard gain that set up the lone Wilson score.
After a sudden timeout by Coach Atlas, so I don't know if he had second thoughts there that panned out for him, but whatever it was a good decision.
We'll see what the decision is here. In shotgun on 3rd and 2. The handoff to the fullback. Moving forward. Looking for the first down was Carter Pitlick. We'll see the spot. It's close to the first down marker. And they'll give it to him. The Lakemen push the chains forward.
Good short yardage run by Pitlick. He didn't dance around. He put his head down. He burrowed in there and kept his legs moving, and that's how you gain the first down on those 3rd and shorts.
That's exactly what Carter Pitlick loves to do most. When I spoke to him at practice this week, he said his favorite thing about the game of football was the contact. Couldn't get enough of it. Here's Mahar. Speedier back in the backfield. He gets wrapped up again by Coda Curtis. The big D tackle senior makes the play.
Wilson looking to continue to run up the middle there. Moderate success, none on that play. They're changing personnel.
Casey Sidoti checks in off the sideline. Younger offense all around. Junior and Jack Mahar, junior and Connor Ernest. Sidoti, previously mentioned, a junior as well. 3 wide receivers, 1 in the backfield. Ernest looks over the middle. His pass for his brother falls incomplete. I beg your pardon, he was looking for number 44. That's Worketter.
Worketter is a step away there. They close to connecting. that brings up a 3rd and long.
We've yet to see a 3rd down conversion from Wilson today, and they changed personnel again here. 3rd and 10 inside their own territory at the 48-yard line. 7:40 remaining in the first half of play. Wilson looking to respond after a Franklinville-Ellicottville drive. Scored in a touchdown in under a minute. And a timeout after they line up. Bill Atlas calls this one again. Did you see anything specific out of that defense, the way they lined up, that Atlas might have called the timeout for, Coach?
I didn't, but Coach Atlas had success in his last timeout, so why not try another one, right?
Coach, folks, we welcome you to our halftime show. Join us then after this first half gets done. We'll talk about the scores from last night in Western New York as well as around the league tonight and across Western New York on Saturday. We'll have plenty of scoring updates throughout the night from our other Western New York athletics broadcast at Salamanca, tonight at Randolph CSP, who beat this Lakeman team last week. The Cardinals host the Wolfpack. That game live right now. And on tape delay at 10 p.m., we'll have Jamestown at Orchard Park right here on Western New York Athletics. Last night, it was a 55-8 thwarting of the Frewsburg Panthers by Portville, as Portville comes out in dominant fashion on Thursday night. If you missed it for the Bills, well, the game was over at halftime. 40 of those points were scored in the first half. So you were able to click away by 8 o'clock, watch the Bills, and know that Portville was going to hang on to that lead.
Tough decision there to tune into Western New York Athletics or the Bills game.
Well, the beauty of live streaming, Coach, is that you can have both on at the same time. So while we had the TV on in the garage, you have your phone, Western New York Athletics. Let me check in on Portville real quick.
As thousands of viewers did, I'm sure.
3rd and 10 inside their own territory. The out route is caught. Mahar pushes forward, but he's going to be well short of the first down marker, about 5 yards short.
Mahar with a pirouette there, I'd say. Kind of did a couple, was that a 360 or?
A double axle if he was on
540
ice skates.
Maybe. He had some time to run with it, but he was off balance and he spent that time spinning in place.
An injury on the field will send us to a timeout. 7:05 remain in the second quarter of play. That clock will stop eventually. 16-8 is our score. The Franklinville-Ellicottville Titans on top by 8. This is Western New York Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Welcome back to Wilson High School and Walter J. Hutchison Field. 16-8, the Franklinville-Ellicottville Titans on top here in the second quarter of play. Wilson stuffed short on 3rd down will leave them with a 4th and 5 just beyond the 50-yard line. Coach, this is the first drive out of the last 4 that will not result in a scoring play, or so we think, here on 4th down.
Oh, never say never, but they are in punt formation.
Connor Ernest, the punter and quarterback, perhaps a fake. Lined up deep at his own 40-yard line is Ernest. And he does boot it away. Calling for the fair catch and making the grab is Bo Bilecki. Just past the 20-yard line, that's where the Titan offense will take the field. The last time we saw the Titan offense, well, we saw them very briefly. John Nuzzo went down the field in less than a minute and punched home a 20-plus yard touchdown run before hitting his fullback Hunter Smith in the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
I think the most important thing Wilson needs to sort out right now is getting eyes on Nuzzo and some kind of strategy to hem him in, because if he's allowed to run wild like he has the last 2 drives, it's not going to work out for him.
Well, it hasn't the last 2 drives. That's fair to say. Coach, would you suggest a spy on the quarterback at this point just to stop him from running?
You got to try something, right? Because you can't let their best player run wild, especially with the confidence he runs with, and when he seems to be the best athlete on the field. I think that's your starting point.
Timeout called by Franklinville Ellicottville here. Interesting to see. I've never seen this many timeouts pre-snap out of a break. Change of possessions. Franklinville Ellicottville inside their own territory. This is the deepest they've started in their own territory today. After an onside kick had them starting at their own 50, at the 50 rather. They had big returns from Bilecki that got them positioned past their own 40. This time just past their own 20. Plenty more field to work with downfield.
So Wilson brought down their strong safety that time, perhaps in an effort to get 2 outside linebackers' eyes on that quarterback, because both times Nuzzo's run around the outside with ease. So maybe that was an effort. Maybe that's what precipitated the timeout, because they were in a different defense there, and perhaps that was an effort from Wilson to react to the success that Nuzzo's had.
Head coach Jason Marsh of the Titans. He spent 7 seasons since the inception of this program between Franklinville and Ellicottville. They were combined with West Valley when they started. They lost West Valley and maybe 1 to 2 players, says Coach, when they got dropped during the COVID season. His defensive coordinator, Chris Mendel, coaches the Ellicottville baseball team. Though Marsh is calling the plays offensively, he dials up another draw run. That one goes for quite little.
That's what Wilson needs to do. They need to take away those easy yards Nuzzo was attaining, and I think that change in the defensive front was designed to do that.
Brandon Martin was there, the long-haired D-end on the far side. Seniors on the ends of this Wilson defensive line, Evan Wolf and Brandon Martin, both graduating next year. That's 2023. Second down, 10 to go. Another quarterback keeper, Nuzzo, plenty of space and blockers in front of him, jumps over one man, down beyond the 30 as a flag flies at the 20-yard line. There you see plenty of blockers in front of Nuzzo on the play. Ethan Lackner was the one that got.
Wilson very aware of what Ellicottville is trying to do to them with Nuzzo, get the outside, and one of the defensive ends set an edge and drew a holding call due to his efforts trying to stop Nuzzo.
It'll remain second down, but second and very long here. Just the defensive play that Wilson needs after not scoring on their previous offensive drive that resulted in a punt.
Great adjustments by Coach Atlas to take away what he's been seeing and what they've been struggling with.
Second down, 20 to go. 6 1/4 remain in the half. So keeps it and rolls to his right. Throws it over the middle. It's incomplete. Lackner was pressuring the quarterback from the linebacker spot.
Nuzzo was lucky there. That was ruled an incomplete pass.
He wisely scooped it up at the end of the play.
Dangerous territory there for those kind of mistakes.
Jack Mahar came pressuring as well.
That ball ultimately rolled in the end zone.
16-8 the score. Franklinville Ellicottville scoring on back-to-back offensive drives their previous 2 times out. 6 minutes remain here on Western New York Athletics. Nuzzo rolling out to his left. Pump fakes the run, now goes out of bounds before the 15-yard line as he's pushed down there by the linebacker Lackner.
So Wilson says no Nuzzo, not this time. It's a great series for Wilson, great adjustments. It looks like they're going to get the ball back here. About 5:30 left in the half.
Good turnout here at Wilson High School on the home bleachers. Students back in school this week. 4th down and long, 4th and 16 to go, backed up inside their own 15. Nuzzo to punt. It's a low one. Needs a good bounce. He'll get that. Wolf lets it go past him. It'll roll all the way to the 4th, Franklinville, Ellicottville. The Wilson Lakemen look to cut into the deficit. They're down by 8 with 5 minutes to go in the first half of play. The Lakeman offense takes the field right after this on WNY Athletics.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe.
The Wilson offense takes the field. Completed pass along the near side to John Mercutio. I beg your pardon. Make that Casey Sidati.
You can just tell when Ernest sets his feet and has a confident throw, he's a different quarterback. He's had accurate throws when he sets his feet and he has no pressure. The couple times he's had someone in his face, he was thrown on the run, and it's been a different story.
He takes it himself on 2nd down. Stiff arms a man to the ground inside the 45. Taken out of the 40. Slewinski, the